Hi, this is my dino talk, and we're going to start out by trying to take you back. According to the scientific community, if you go back millions and millions and millions of years, um, there was a continent called Pangaea, and Pangaea was down by the equator, and over time it moved. It broke into Gondwanaland and Laurasia as it moved from the equator up into the current positions. And then Laurasia broke off into what North and South America and what we see today. But the layers of the rocks that you see on that is is how we know that there were different ages of this earth. Notice how uniform they are and how level, and these layers actually extend over a lot of the southwest. Um, and the obviously the layer on the very bottom is the oldest. Even though we can't see it right now, there is a formation called the Cutler Formation that's 220, 240 million years old. And then there above it are the Moenkopi and Chinle formations that are right below that big rock wall that you see there. And the Moenkopi and Chinle formations were put down, and then and that was like 180 to 200 million years. And then that red rock wall, according to scientific theories, was sand dunes, and that's also where we find dino tracks. And you can see this is a part of the Wingate Formation, and these all are, but you can see all the weathering and how there's layers upon layers. And that one right there, you can see that it looks like if you laid it flat, it looks like it's waves upon waves of layering, kind of like a sand dune. If you were to look at a sand dune, it would look very similar. And this is where we find different dinosaurs. And this big rock that you see here is nothing but solid dino tracks. This is on BLM land, and anyone can come to it. It's on the Montrose Mesa County line, and anyone can come to it at any time. But if you notice that there are two rocks, there's one on my left and one on the right that looks a little different. The one on the left, if you look at these tracks, these are all tracks. All these things are different tracks. Notice how they're three-fingered, and there's just different impressions all in them. Ow. And then if you look at this one right here, this is actually called a gralator. And then there's another one back here, and there's others. But these tracks, scientists have looked at them, and they can tell where and how far and how fast dinos supposedly ran. The gralator that I just mentioned, which is this one, is a bigger guy. He was 4 to 6 feet tall, maybe even a little taller. Think of like a 4 to 6 foot like Tyrannosaurus. It was a meat-eating dinosaur that was upright on two legs, and he roamed around, and he basically looked for other critters. But if we zoom up to right there, you can see some more gralator tracks, and it looks like there's all along in here, and then there's some more up there, and more up there. But yes, if you look at all this rock, but think if you were a scientist and you came to this rock, and it's like, okay, what in the world made this? What in the world created all this? And you can see that They have, according to scientific papers, because a guy did a study on this rock, and according to his accounts, there are about 4 or 5 different animals or dinosaurs that lived back then, including the growlitore. But if you notice that there are definitely some different sizes, there's some different shapes and different patterns. There's another guy that lived during this time called a Brasilicnium. He was first discovered in Brazil, and he was a little guy, he was rodentish. He was a rodent kind of animal that liked to roam the sand dunes. And what's interesting is all the track patterns were up the sand dune and not down. And and it makes me wonder, it's like, why was he running up the sand dune and not down? Maybe getting away from a flood? Who knows? But if you notice, do these patterns, they look puffed up. How does a normal track get put into the ground? If you step in an area and basically make a track yourself, then you have an impression of that track. Like down here, I mean, we leave all kinds of tracks. Like my dog here is leaving his footprints as well, but they're pushed in. And the reason why these are puffed out is because this is the other side of the rock. Remember how when we started this video that there are 2 rocks? There's this other rock. I'm not going up there today, but you can climb up right here and then climb on top of this rock right here. These rocks split apart when they fell off. They fell off of that big old place up there, and it caused this rock to split open. Otherwise we wouldn't even know it's here. How many more rocks that are around here can you imagine not being split open like this, that maybe have hidden tracks inside of them? It's pretty cool to think about. But scientists try to use their best guess as to what happened with these guys and how they lived and what they ate, and there isn't any more evidence that they have discovered other than tracks. They have not been able to find any type of bones, and but they can estimate how much weight by how far into the soil that these patterns go into. So the heavier you are, the bigger your imprint is going to be. The lighter you are, like these little guys, the lighter you're going to be. But yeah, so it's a lot of guessing, but it's cool that we still have tracks. But yeah, the Wingate Formation, 1 out of every 1,000 rocks has dinosaur footprints in them, and they're very cool to look at. And if you ever want to come out here, feel free to tag me, and I will try my best to tell you where they are. However, it's not a clear marked path. It's pretty much going up a wash and bumping into this large rock. So take care. Hopefully you enjoyed your time, and have a great day.